let's just get right to it. Your niceness? It's probably a lie. You've been told it's a virtue, that it's the core of who you are. But what if it's not? What if it's actually a piece of software, a deeply ingrained manipulation tactic built on a foundation of pure primal fear? This is Unspoken Rules, the place where we expose the psychological truths nobody ever teaches you. And today, we're tearing down the people pleaser's entire operating system.
Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't about being mean. It's not about being cruel. It's about motive. It's about finally understanding that the agreeable, easygoing person you show the world, well, it's likely a program, not a person. It's a strategy you built as a kid because somewhere along the way, you learned a devastating lesson. Being your real, authentic self was just not safe.
So let's talk about that program. We'll call it the nice guy lie. It's a faulty operating system, and it runs on one simple, deeply flawed line of code. If I am good, if I am giving, if I never cause any trouble, then I will be loved, my needs will finally be met, and my life will be smooth. But here's the catch. This code is designed to give away all of your power in exchange for the illusion of safety. And the result isn't love. No, the result is this deep, simmering resentment that comes from being utterly powerless.
And when you lay the two systems side by side, the contrast is just stark. On the left, you've got the nice guy. His entire world is reactive. His motivation? Fear. His validation? It has to come from the outside. Look at that last line, generosity. It's not real. It's a transaction. It's giving to get. Now look at the other side, the integrated male. He operates from an internal locus of control. The driver isn't fear, it's self-respect. This isn't about becoming a jerk. It's about becoming whole. So, take a hard, honest look right now. Which one of these columns feels more like home? Which side truly defines your interactions with the world? Because you have to know which operating system you're running before you can even think about changing it.
So where does this broken programming even come from? This is so crucial to understand. This is not a character flaw. It's not a moral failure. It is a survival mechanism. It's a piece of code that got installed in your childhood, probably the first time you learned that your true, unfiltered self was, well, somehow unacceptable.
And at the absolute core of this programming is a virus. It's called toxic shame. Now, this is not guilt. Guilt is feeling bad for something you did. Toxic shame is the core belief that something is wrong with who you are. And that feeling forces you to hide your real self behind that nice persona, because you believe it's the only way to survive and maybe, just maybe, be loved. And this is how that code gets written. Maybe it was dealing with parents who were always critical or always needed something from you. Maybe there was no strong role model around. Or maybe you just saw a bad father and swore you'd be the opposite. Whatever it was, the lesson was always the same. Being compliant is how you stay safe. Your niceness wasn't a choice you made. It was a trauma response, an adaptation to a world that felt threatening.
All right, so if you believe your real needs are shameful and unacceptable, how on earth do you get them met? Well, you don't ask directly, that's for sure. You use a tool of indirect manipulation. Dr. Robert Glover calls it the covert contract. And this is the primary, usually unconscious, way that a nice guy tries to control his entire world. This whole thing plays out like a three-part psychological trap. First, there's the unspoken offer. You know, a favor, a compliment, always being agreeable. Second, there's the hidden expectation. You're not just being nice, you want something specific back. And the third, most critical part, the shared pretense. You both have to act like this little transactional deal doesn't even exist. It's pure manipulation, disguised as selflessness.
In these contracts, they usually fall into one of three buckets. You've got the love contract, the reciprocity contract, and the smooth life contract. But see, they all share the same fatal flaw. They're based on the delusion that you can control other people and life itself by just being good. You're trying to rig the game of human interaction, and when reality inevitably refuses to play along, the only possible outcome is bitterness and resentment. I want you to really think about this. Your most important relationships, with your partner, at your job, with your friends. What unspoken bargains are you trying to enforce right this very minute? What are you giving, silently expecting a very specific payment in return? You have to see these hidden deals before you can ever hope to break the cycle.
Okay, so if the nice guy program is a prison built on fear, what's the way out? The goal is not to become the opposite, a selfish jerk. That's just flipping the coin over. The real goal is to become an integrated male, a man who operates from a place of internal authority and self-acceptance, not from a desperate, needy grab for outside approval.
And this, right here, is the most critical distinction. This journey is not about trading one form of perfectionism for another. Perfectionism is just another cage designed by fear. This is about embracing your own wholeness, your ambition, your flaws, your anger, and yes, your kindness too. Wholeness is the real foundation of authentic power.
And this is what that internal alignment actually looks like in the real world. A man who genuinely likes himself doesn't need constant validation from others. A man who takes full responsibility for his own needs, well, he stops trying to manipulate everyone else into meeting them for him. He sets boundaries not as an act of aggression, but as an act of profound self-respect. These aren't rules on some checklist. They are the natural results when a man finally reclaims his own power.
Because when it's all said and done, the qualities that create true magnetism, true power, you can't perform them. You can't fake them. They have to be earned. Self-respect, the courage to be your authentic self, and an unwavering integrity. These are the undeniable signatures of an integrated, self-possessed human being. And so, here we are. Once you understand the psychological programming, the fear, the shame, the covert contracts, it is impossible to go back to sleep. You can't unsee this. You are now standing at a psychological crossroads, and your old blissful ignorance is gone forever.
This is the choice laid bare. It's that simple. On one side, you have unconscious living, a life that is run by a fear-based niceness that simmers with hidden resentment and is defined by a deep sense of powerlessness. And on the other side, you have conscious reality, a life built on authentic kindness, direct communication, internal validation, and real personal power.
The patterns have been exposed. The alternative has been presented. So the final question really is for you. Will you continue to be a slave to a program that you never consciously chose? Or are you ready to join the few who choose awareness and start living an authentic, integrated life? The choice, as always, is yours.